Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see a healthy Carson Wentz and the world champion Philadelphia Eagles take on a man back for a 15th NFL season, Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with the Philadelphia Eagles. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that 2nd win in a row.
And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their 3rd-year quarterback calling the shots under center. It'll be Carson Wentz.
And what a season Carson Wentz was having in 2017 after a rookie season that was a little bit up and down, as you might expect. He was having an MVP caliber year. 33 touchdown passes at the time of his injury. Had his team at 11-2, riding high. Everyone thought that might be it for the Eagles. There goes their dream of winning a Super Bowl. Instead, Nick Foles comes in, team rallies, saves the day, and end up winning the Super Bowl anyway. But Carson Wentz had a big hand in getting him in that position.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. So we'll look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
But just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. They run with a jive. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. Defense had a chance to get off the field here in the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Right back to him on first down. And the hole closes quick. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. Quickly now a look at the Eagles' offensive starters.
Back after offseason rotator cuff surgery is Alshon Jeffrey, who played with the injury all of 2017 and still caught 57 passes for 787 yards and 9 touchdowns. What makes him special? Not just his size, but his athleticism, which was on display, and a brilliant catch for the first touchdown of Super Bowl 52, and also on display throughout the entire playoff run.
This is a giant, and a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. Time to look at the defensive starters for the New York Giants. They enter play here 24th in the league against the run.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me, it all starts up front. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in order to play against the run very well.
Play action. Now Wentz. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So now here are the Giants backed up to start their first drive. It'll be the now 37-year-old quarterback calling the shots in his 15th season at the helm of the Giants, Eli Manning.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
Manning and the Giants come up now 1st and 10 at their own 11. Now the first running back drafted this year, it's Saquon Barkley. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. It was Josh Sweat who got him down on the defensive side. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They give him a gain of 37.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Play action. Manning. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. For the Eagles, a look now at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. There are 32 teams in the NFL, and they're just better than 50% of them at defending the pass, number 16 in the league.
So I'm prepping for this game. I kept asking myself the question, what's keeping this group from being top 10 in the league against the pass?
And?
Too many mistakes, especially little mistakes. And those add up into big mistakes. Big mistakes add up into points against you.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs. And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs, gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up. He's got his man. It's Brandon Coleman. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And 15 yards there on the catch and run. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this. And, hey, you know, how are you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Derek Barnett in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because
touchdown, Giants! Odell Beckham, his second touchdown on the season. And the Giants are going to take a first quarter lead. Well, this is a crew. They've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really haven't. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here, and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not pump the ball again.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. An Eagle first down. Wentz hooking up with Jeffrey.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Here's a Giant. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, Pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a first down on the play. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
They go play action here on first down, eluding the pressure right. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Now it's Ajayi. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Field goal would have been a decent length at 55 yards. They keep the kicking unit on the sideline. They're going for it. They'll go for it. It's Wentz. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Janoris Jenkins with good coverage that time as he was able to get in there and knock it away. Well, I guess they wanted to get that touchdown right back on their first drive, but failed to do so.
And what they have to be careful of is pushing so hard to stay right there, to stay even with their opponent, that they gas themselves out. You know, it's almost like horse racing. Sometimes you don't want to take your horse right to the front and let him do all the work, and then someone catch him at the end and pass him up. You want to make sure you moderate what you're doing along the way and then go for the big finish.
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Well, that's the Kickstarter right there. Eli Manning finding his guy, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, it's a deadly combination, isn't it?
It really is, but what really makes it work is just how unflappable Eli is with his demeanor, able to maintain his calm and his poise. Because we know, OBJ, he can run pretty hot and get excited out there.
Sometimes just one-handed grabs for him.
It doesn't matter what it is. Just throw it up there. He'll go get it.
That burst good for 20 and a first down. 1 quarter in the books here on a Thursday night. And they've got it here with a first down. From the gun, it's Madden. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. And he's brought down. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Manning. The left side throw complete to Adams. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Jarrell Adams, his first touchdown on the year. And the Giants add on to their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. PAT up and good by Rosas. And it's now 14-0. Just a 4-play drive that time, and was polished off by the touchdown run from the 16-yard line. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points. Get that 0 off the board.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And he floats one there, incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Coming into the week, he's the NFL's leader in receiving yards. There's his first catch, and it's good for a first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. C.J. Wilson. With a great push up front, he picks up the sack and a loss of 8.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for a loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. On play action, Wentz. One up deep. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Well, he bounced up after taking a sack and took a shot downfield. I think a lot of us thought maybe he'd run draw in that situation. Instead, tried to get all back in one play. Yeah, 3rd and long, thought he needed the deep pass, couldn't connect it. Maybe he was hoping for a penalty downfield to give him the yardage they needed.
Shorty. Here we go.
Wentz to throw for it on 4th. Caught right side is Jeffrey. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. Doug Pederson's guys come up empty here on 4th down. And the Giants are going to get the football back. Well, down 2 touchdowns already. I guess they felt they needed to go for it, but still early, still first half. I think conventional wisdom says, look, as you point out, you got a whole half to play. Hang in there. Don't give up any more points in this situation. Do a little adjusting at the half and come out ready to go. But sometimes those coaches can just sense their team. Maybe they're a little flat or they need a little extra inspiration. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. On On second down, here's Manning. Hey, right on cue, they set up the screen and complete it. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Defensively, looks like they were thinking the same thing you were. You mentioned maybe being able to hit him with some screens, but they were ready.
Yeah, it's not just the guys who have the headsets on offense that do the thinking, right? They saw it, they understood what they did, and said, you know something, how would you try to play it against us? And they were ready to go.
We'll get this out to Barkley, complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Nelson Aguilar and company getting set to go again on offense now. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
Come on now, let's go. Let's go.
Wentz now on first down. Ertz over the middle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
So the drive takes him into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Let's go.
Wentz now on first down. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion, or even worse, an interception.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They run again with a Ajay. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. On first down, Wentz. Out to the left there and complete to the tight end, Goddard. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Throwing is Wentz. They'll roll him out right. His throw caught at about the 5. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. This is first and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. They'll try to run with a giant. And this will result in him losing yardage back to the 3. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On second and goal, Ajayi, the lone man in the backfield. From the gun, it's Wentz. This is caught. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. Working from the gun, Wentz. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Nelson Aguilar, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. There the Eagles are back within a score. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. And a lot of football, full half to be played. Elliott good on the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. Elliott now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Eli Manning and company getting set here as they head back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on second down. Just his 2nd incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
Manning again here on 2nd and 10. To Barkley on the check down. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. Manning now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. On 1st down, Manning. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. So after the INT, here's Wentz. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Now a signal and a timeout call, as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. Shotgun now for Wentz. Flushed out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. A final shot before half for Wentz. He'll rifle this one deep right, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Janoris Jenkins. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So we've reached halftime here at MetLife Stadium with the Giants out in front, as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and CD in a minute. First, it's time to take a look at what we've got coming your way this weekend in the NFL. Some great games coming up this weekend. The first one is over in London. 2 West Coast teams traveling a long way as Oakland plays host to Seattle. Excellent games in the late afternoon window as well. One being over in Arlington, where it'll be America's team, the Cowboys, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And finally, on Monday Night Football, the guys will be in Lambeau, 49ers and Packers. A good one to wrap up week number 6. In our game, it's been the play of Eli Manning that's been the story so far. His guys have the lead as we send you back to MetLife Stadium in Brandon Gaudin.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Eli Manning getting ready to go again on offense. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. Here's Manning to throw. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll make it a second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
Now Manning. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
I feel like Eli Manning has just gone from downfield bomber to a guy who can complete everything.
He can hit him underneath now, can't he?
Yeah, we just saw that there with that pass completion. The maturity of a veteran taken with the defensive given.
A first down carry for Barkley. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Now Manning throwing on second down. And he's taken down, but not before he gets us into enemy territory across the 40. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
On first and 10, here's Manning. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
On second down, here's Barkley. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
And you remember pre-draft, there was a lot of speculation that the Giants should look for their future quarterback at number 2 with a great possibility. Remember, Sam Darnold from USC was still on the board, but they passed on him to take this runner, Saquon Barkley. And this is exactly why. They think he can extend the life of Eli Manning's career and give them 1,000-yard seasons year after year.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard season since 2012. Ahmad Bradshaw did it then. A gain of 6 there on first.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Here's a give to Barkley, and he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist,
and he's hit and taken down. Eli sacked. Nigel Bradham with a big sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
Oh,
they get to the football. It's blocked.
Love the effort there. I mean, to get a field goal block in this situation because they knew what was going on. They give up those 3 points there. It's now a 2-possession game.
Yeah, that really changes the complexion here in the second half, doesn't it?
It really does, and now you give your team more than a fighting chance and a little momentum. Terrific job by them setting the tone and picking up their defense.
So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this off into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
interception. Or we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Again, it's Barkley. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Working from the gun, Manning. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot, and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
They'll give it to him up the middle. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And, you know, he may not have the franchise tag, but I bet they're relieved to have that deal done, keep him around.
And he's a good guy, a valuable player to them, and they wanted to make sure they had him around. Good team chemistry, always hard to find, and when you've got it, you don't want to let it get away.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal.
I have to laugh a little bit because he actually handed it off. I thought with the 2 touchdown passes he's thrown in this one already, he'd go ahead and fling and try and get a 3rd one.
Yeah, now from this spot on 3rd down, I think he'd probably throw it here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. They won't even send in a running play here, I don't believe. I think they go ahead and try and throw it for a touchdown.
Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Nigel Bradham, past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. This could be left side to Aguilar. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
The Eagles on 3rd down, 5 out of 9 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to get the 1st down as they bring him down at the 23. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. 1st and 10. Here's Wentz. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Wentz to throw on 2nd down. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Nelson Aguilar, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. On play action, Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. A good pickup there at 22.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And they'll run it here. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. Olivier Vernon brings him down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the 4th quarter.
Come on now, let's go.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. Finding some room at midfield. And finally brought down at the 43. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down. Great time there to come up with his longest run of the night. We just saw it.
Leads to a lot of satisfaction because if they're able to hang on and win this game, you know what else will happen in the locker room after this?
What's that?
Head coach will step up and go, great job, guys. Because of that, we're coming a little bit later tomorrow.
And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see.
Encroachment, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And they still need 6 yards here on 3rd down after the penalty. After the penalty, they go with Barkley. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It's a 6-yard pickup, but still a few chain links short, it appears, with 4th down coming up. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
A big one there. That gives him a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, let a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now, because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
That ball's caught. Aguilar, right side. A good pickup there, a 22. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
So the drive takes them into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 43.
Let's go.
They go play action here on 1st down. Ertz has it left side. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. Now Wentz on the bootleg. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. To throw, it's Wentz. And this is Ertz with it, right side. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
82.
Now a play fake. Wentz. And this will be broken up and incomplete. Now a penalty flag down, and they may be going backward here.
Holding, offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And they're back within a touchdown. It's 17-10. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. You got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's toppled the century mark already receiving the football, closing in on that on the ground, too. They've really had trouble handling him.
I think from what we've seen in this game, his success through the air has started to open things up for him on the ground because now he's loosened up the defense, right? They've got to play just about every snap as if another receiver can get downfield on them, and he's been that receiver. Now they bring him back to the backfield. I think his yardage running the ball will increase as this one goes on.
Well, they might need to devote some extra attention to him, something just to stop the momentum he has. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
A handoff to Barkley. And an alley to run. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Stewart. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that load in the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. It's caught. Shepard. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs. Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Play action. Manning under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Derek Barnett in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Manning to throw on 2nd down. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he is out of bounds, just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Shotgun now for Manning. That is caught at the 7. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Brandon Coleman, his first touchdown on the year. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this, saying, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that.
And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Olivier Vernon in there to get him for a loss of 5. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Wentz. He's going to let it fly. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Janoris Jenkins with good coverage that time as he was able to get in there and knock it away. Tried to go for the big one there on 2nd down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Now Wentz, gotta have this one. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now the football's going to go over, already being placed at the 15-yard line. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that.
They're down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
The pitch goes to Barkley. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling, and this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, first guy there, hold.
And he's going to bull his way into the end zone for a Giants touchdown. Jonathan Stewart, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Giants add on to their lead.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Rosas good with the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. This will be taken in at the 1. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Wentz now to throw. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 45. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Giants, their good start continues as they